Well, I wish I had as cool of an accent as James. I don't. I'm a country boy from Utah, so you'll have to deal with that. It doesn't make the presentation as cool, though, I got to be honest. So if you were at this morning's sessions, there was a lot of prop tech talk around resident sentiment, right? And we believe resident sentiment is one of the keys for attracting and retaining more residents or tenants, okay? So unfortunately, I was gonna do a demo and stuff like that so you could see. Our technology's not set up that way, so I'm gonna talk about the why first. And if you'd like to come and see the how, then I'd love to show you that over here in the expo. So we really have studied the industry problems, and you guys know this. This is no surprise to you. Some of these things are duh, you know, they just are that way. But we intend to help fix some of these challenges that we have in the industry by focusing on resident sentiment. And those who are positive, as well as those who are negative, and then leverage the heck out of this, right? If it's positive, we want to leverage that and attract more residents. If it's negative, we want to fix those problems. Sometimes we just don't even know what they are, to be honest, right? So we kind of give you a blind spot monitor that tells you, hey, here are the things that your residents are saying that are negative about you. We don't want those to go online, but if you know about those, you can start to fix them and use that as part of your retention strategy. I'm going to buzz by some of these. We briefly talked about attract and retain because that's what resident feedback's about. Most of you probably have some sort of strategy for, let's say, your online reputation, but it's more reactive than it is proactive. And what I mean by that is, I was even talking with some folks in here, the expo, that we have this great strategy we're responding to, we've got this great tool that does it, and then when you ask them the question, well, are you getting more negative comments online than positive? The answer is always yes. Well, that's because there's nothing proactive driving positive sentiment to those online ILSs. Okay, what we've noticed with our customers is this correlation between online scores and occupancy rate. So let's talk about that for a second, because to me it passes the sniff test. I don't know, maybe to you it doesn't. If somebody is looking online for a place to call home, I don't know, I would say in 90% of the cases, they're starting on Google and they're typing something like apartments near me. And when that pops up, that list of communities that are around them, they're seeing a filter. And their mind is processing just like yours does. Whether you're looking for a place to call home or buying a widget, we start to filter, right? Oh, this one is at a 4.0 and this one is at a 3.0. This one has 10 reviews and this one has 50 reviews. I'm gonna call or stop by or visit the website of this one before I do this one. Does that pass the sniff test to you? I'm seeing some head shake yes. Well, it does make sense, and that's why the higher the score, the higher the occupancy rate, because that community is getting their unfair share of residents, potential residents, looking at their community. It's an easy equation. The higher the score, the more people are looking at your community, okay? And that's why this makes sense, okay? Let me show you an example. This happens to be Bridge Property Management Group out of Salt Lake. We're good friends with them. They use us exclusively. This is about 6 months old, so they even have more properties and units than that. But they use us exclusively across their entire portfolio. In fact, Danielle Johnson told me the other day, she's like, Craig, your product is not a nice to have anymore. For me, it's a must have because it attracts more residents to my communities. So this is busy, so let me go through it a bit. You can see on the left side the starting reviews, so 11,000 starting reviews when they started with us, okay? Their Google rating across their portfolio, 108 at the time, was at a 3.0, okay? According to the previous, their occupancy rate wasn't where it should be, okay? When they started using us, back then, that's what it looked like. 12 months later, we did another search, and their reviews were about double of where they were, 21,000. Their average rating went up to 3.6. We added 10,000 reviews, okay? The occupancy rate, by the way, went from 92.5 to 94.3. Now, is that a big deal? It only went up 1.77%. You tell me. During that time, and we're not going to take credit for all of that, but if your communities rose 1.77% in occupancy rate, what would that do to your NOI? Because what we did is we took their average rental rate times that number, and that meant during that period of time, again, just a 1.77% increase rose their NOI by $10 million. That's no small achievement. The interesting byproduct of this really, though, was that they started getting better applications as well, right? The higher the score also introduced a higher quality of applicants, which meant a lower rejection rate. Okay, you can see that there as well. And we could go on and on. Some of these are local to down here, but the story is the same. It didn't change at all. You increase your online curb appeal, the more people you will have looking at your community, which means the occupancy rate goes up. And that's all we're talking about right here. The flip side of that coin really is, what about those people who aren't happy with you? Okay? Well, our tool, if we had time to show you right now, that we can show you in the other room, will help you filter out the negative and give it to you privately. Excuse me. Sorry about that. I had that booster shot about a week ago, and it's kind of messed me up. Yeah, so we believe that the negative is just as important and becomes our blind spot monitor to our communities on what we could do to improve. We just don't want everybody to see it online. So if we do that, and we can start focusing on fixing problems and attracting residents by using positive sentiment, then we're golden. Okay? Here's a few more case studies. You can see it there. We're not the new kid on the block. We're actually have surpassed those numbers as well. Big and small companies combined. We've got a great history and portfolio of who uses us. But again, coming full circle now, our company is here to help you get more resident feedback. Positive will attract more residents. Negative we'll use to fix the problems that we didn't know we have so that we can retain more residents. Now, I'm about a minute away. I'm the last one of the day, so I think drinks are starting here, aren't they?
Oh, they are.
So come and talk with us. We'd love to do business with you and your portfolios, and that's Opiniion.
Craig, thank you.